An all-new Dr. Phil, the New York firefighter and model.
You were Mr. March.
Entangled in a headline-making scandal.
When did you begin dating transgender women?
For the very first time.
She said I dragged her down Times Square by her hair. When my lawyer would read the charges, I would laugh.
He tells his side of the story.
You had a restraining order in place that said do not contact her, and you called her 1,000 times. It was a hot and fiery story that tore through the headlines of all the major New York papers. The press dubbed Taylor Murphy the FDNY hothead, a hunk and a pinup. The 6'5" New York firefighter seemed like a woman's fantasy come to life. He says he was on top of the world, saving lives by day and pursuing acting and modeling on the side. He first gained attention when he posed as Mr. March in this fireman-themed calendar. But it all came crashing down when he was accused of beating his model girlfriend outside a New York strip club. Why? Because his beautiful model girlfriend also happened to be transgender. The story hit New York's gossip circuit, and Taylor's trial got major coverage. Everyone wanted photos of the handsome firefighter as he showed up in court in tight T-shirts and designer shades, flaunting a string of transgender models on his arm. But the notoriety and short-lived celebrity soon wore off. Even though Taylor was eventually cleared of the most serious assault charges, he was convicted of violating a restraining order. He lost his job with the FDNY and even attempted suicide. Now he's trying to piece his life back together and telling his side of the story for the very first time. Tell me what your objective is today, what you hope to accomplish.
My objective is to get my point across of how it's portrayed. There's a lot of false representations, and the media made a lot of fun of my story, and just give people a better understanding, or people who haven't heard my story at all, give them a true understanding, as well as I want to talk about equality for all people, especially trans or gay or bisexual, anything like that.
Well, let's talk about who you are for people that don't know. You were with the fire department in New York City, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was a big goal of yours, big dream of yours, right?
Yes, sir.
Getting to be a New York fireman is not an easy task, right?
No,
I mean,
it's not.
It's very rigorous to go through to meet all the requirements and all of that, physically and otherwise, to become a fireman, correct?
Something like 100,000 applications, maybe a couple thousand get picked, and then you have a few academies out of that. So I would say very small percentage.
And when did you join?
February 28th, 2008. I was also finished third in the academy out of 276 probationary firefighters. And I eventually went off to go into special operations my last year and a half.
So top of your class, and that was 9 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old were you when you started?
I think I was around 25.
What firehouse did you serve?
I was in the Harlem Zoo. We're a top company on the job. And then I finished at Sock Support Company Ladder 1, downtown Manhattan, right by 9/11.
And you're not the first in your family to be a fireman, correct?
My dad was actually the highest ranking you could go. He's deputy chief of the fire department. My brother, Jesse, is a 9/11 responder, firefighter, and a 9/11 hero.
Okay, so family history here.
Yes, sir.
All right. What did it mean to you when you got this family history, you go through this arduous process, you come out at the top of your class, you get into the fire department, you say the last of your career you're in special ops. What did it mean to you to set that goal and see that dream come true?
It was a dream of mine, but the thing, I played college basketball. I had a scholarship, and my dream was basketball. But when I found out that I could play for the fire department, a bigger dream came, and that was to risk my life to save somebody else's life. And then I felt that that was my calling.
Describe the relationship that you had with your fellow firemen. So I assume you guys work together, you put your lives at risk together. I assume that's a powerful bond.
Yeah, you're touching on something a little personal, and I don't want to... It's bothersome, very bothersome to answer that.
What bothers you about it?
It's a brotherhood, it's a family.
You feel betrayed?
I don't feel betrayed. Feels like you lose a family, you know?
Because those bonds aren't still there?
No, I have bonds there. I have guys that support me, but I'm not there. But my look at that is that there had to be a time that I had to leave. I wasn't going to be a firefighter forever, but whenever I was fired, I lost all the brothers I had.
How long was it before it came unraveled and you weren't there anymore?
Oh, 2012, December 13th.
So you were a firefighter for how long?
I think a rough 4.5 years.
4.5 years?
Something like that.
And you say you knew you weren't going to be there forever, but you planned to be there longer than 4.5 years.
Yeah, but guys get hurt all the time. And the average life for a firefighter was up like 7 years. But I hoped to be there longer, but it is a high-risk job.
Now, you were also into modeling.
Yes.
And in fact, there was a calendar, and you were Mr. March.
I was Mr. March, I was also Mr. June, and then I was Mr. July in another calendar. And I was also in one of the leading fitness agencies in the country, Silver Models, and I worked for Wilhelmina as well.
Okay. This is Mr. March,
That's
2011.
Yes, sir.
So what was the reaction when you became Mr. March? People take notice?
I term it as I felt like a bit of a Backstreet Boy. Down at 10 Truck, when I would work down there would be swarms of girls. So we pull out, and guys have to push the girls back when we're coming in and out, and all the girls know from the calendar. And I was featured Kathy Lee. I was on Channel 11, Fox 5, New York 1. I was featured in tons of magazines.
It may be cold outside our studio, but for some reason, things are actually getting really hot in here just for you.
Oh, I like that fast pullback. With us are 12 New York City firefighters who pose for that annual City of the Brave calendar.
This was just one of your modeling pictures?
Yeah, I actually worked for Bjorn Borg. I was his underwear campaign model, and they threw in the firefighter stuff.
Tell me what this one was.
That was 2012. I got picked for the front of the calendar.
So when all this started, you just became a celebrity. I mean, you couldn't get in and out of the firehouse without girls lined up around the block.
I mean, some people say I was. Yeah. I'm just me.
You sure got a lot of attention.
Oh, yeah, I can't deny that.
So the first time you modeled was when?
Actually, when I was 17, Ford models. I was probably like 100 pounds lighter. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6", 275, let's say.
When March came out, that was a big deal. That one got a lot of attention, right?
Right, yes, sir.
How did people respond to you getting all that recognition, your fellow firefighters and all? Did you get taken on a ribbon about that? Were they happy for you, jealous of you, teasing you?
I'll say now, looking back at it, for every 100 people you have rooting for you, you have 100 people that are getting mad. There was a lot of bitterness, to be honest with you.
But you kept doing your job. I mean, this was something you did on the side, but you kept showing up, doing your shifts, everything everybody else did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you met a woman named Claudia. How did you meet?
We met on the street.
Okay, just walking along the street. How'd that happen?
Just bumped in her.
You don't even like to use her name.
I don't say her name.
You call her the devil.
I don't call her the devil. She worships the devil, and they say in that world, I don't know much about it, you speak things into existence and you give it power. So I don't say the name and I don't give it power.
Okay. And how did you meet? Who walked up to who?
She bumped into me and recognized me from, I think it was the Today Show.
To start talking to you?
Yeah, I stopped and I started engaging in conversation.
And you started dating. How long did you date?
We only dated for that summer.
How was the relationship at first? She described it as a summer romance in the city.
I wouldn't describe it that.
How would you describe it?
It's just, there's a lot of feelings and stuff like that involved, but she had a boyfriend in LA. So I'll just describe it as pretty intense dating.
What occupation was she? Was she a model?
That's what she said.
Right.
She was on a show called Janice Dickinson Show, but she later told the press and everybody that she was an America's Next Top Model. If you Google her name, she was never a contestant. She actually got disqualified.
Had she had the sexual reassignment surgery?
No.
So she was pre-op. She was preoperative. Yeah. Did you have a sexual relationship with her?
I did.
Well, then you would know.
Whatever she says two different things. I don't.
Well,
she's a pre-op, but I didn't want to contradict what she was saying or call her a liar. Oh.
Well, I didn't say what she said. I'm asking you, was she a pre-op transgender woman?
Pre-op.
She had not had the operation at the time?
Correct.
Okay. Why did you break up?
The life that she lives is nothing of what I thought. She's into escorting. She's into just negative stuff, bad lifestyle, bad life choices.
How'd you find out she was doing that?
I started like Googling her number, and I just started finding stuff. Well, I don't remember exactly, but it was just one thing after another.
Did you ask her about it?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She admitted it.
Yeah. Why did she say she was doing that?
Oh, she says she's forced into it or something like that when it's absolutely 100% a choice.
But she somehow was being forced into it?
Because of society. There are people who are forced. There's transgender that federally are not allowed to work in this country in certain places, but we're in a different age. This age, people have a choice and anybody could go out there and work, and you don't have to do that or live like that. That's an excuse, I feel.
So you said, I don't want to be associated with that, so you broke up.
Yes, sir.
But you stayed in touch afterwards, right?
Yes, sir.
And you dated a number of transgender women, but you stayed in touch with her.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. How'd she react to that?
Yeah, she couldn't take it. She
didn't like that?
No, she didn't like that at all.
Was she a jealous person?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
What would she do when she got jealous?
What would she do? She would tell the police that a story that never happened. That's what she'll do.
Like what?
That I physically harmed her.
That you attacked her? What'd she say you did?
Coming up.
No, she said she was angry. She was furious.
How badly did she say you choked her?
When he would read the charges, I would laugh.
Didn't she say you choked her until her contact popped out?
And later...
Did you expect the media to be all over your story?
They treated me like a Justin Bieber.
Were you outed as dating transgender women?
The fact is that the society doesn't really accept trans, and that's wrong.
We now return to Dr. Phil's interview with an ex-New York fireman accused.
Did you ask her why she was accusing you of assault?
No, she said she was angry. She was furious.
So was a restraining order put in place?
It was, automatically.
Did you violate that order?
Yes, I did.
How?
Called her numerous times. She contacted me numerous times. She would put me in situations where she was telling me the press and everybody, because of who I am, they're making a big deal. They're blowing this up, and she's like crying on the phone and then telling her I can't talk to her. And then she'll tell me, oh, really? Well, I'll tell them that you did this and that if you don't pick up your phone.
But you called her a lot.
Yes, sir.
How many times did you call her?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yes, I did.
In fact, I read in one report that you called her 1,000 times.
Yeah. When she tells me I'm going to the police precinct at 5 o'clock, you better call me. From 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'm in a panic.
You called her 100 times in a day.
I definitely agree with that.
But did she bait you into calling her?
She would tell me she was going to the police and she's gonna tell them that I did worse stuff. I did other stuff. She's gonna make something else up. Or she would say like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself. I just took 100 pills and I'm gonna OD. You have to have respect for authority, and I take my responsibility.
Well, apparently not. You had a restraining order in place that said do not contact her, and you called her 1,000 times.
I take the responsibility now. Before I didn't.
Okay.
I disrespected that restraining order, which I shouldn't have done.
What did she say she was going to tell the police you did?
Oh, I'll tell them that you molested me or raped me or something like that.
Did you advise the police that you were being threatened?
I told my lawyer. I don't think I told the police.
Did he advise the police that this woman had taken out a restraining order on you and then was baiting you and threatening you and extorting you?
I don't know what he said to the police, but I told my lawyer, and he brought it up in the courtroom. She said that I called her and that it was bothering her, and he said, why didn't you change your number? So If it was me bothering her, I think she would have changed the number.
Did you think about changing your number?
Dr. Phil, I was not in a good place. I was so confused.
You also believe that Claudia tried to link you to the death of your ex-girlfriend who died in a fire, correct?
I just know that she would, like, say bad things about me, and because she had a group of friends, and they would say negative things. At the end, Lorena was my good friend. We started out dating. She actually became my best, closest friend.
Did you have anything to do with her death?
Not at all.
And that was proven beyond any doubt, correct?
Proven beyond doubt. No questions asked about it.
Now, who is Kristen Davis?
Kristen Davis is the madam that she ran a service.
So what was your involvement with her?
I met Kristen, and when I met her, she runs a lot of support to sex trafficking victims. And she told me that she worked with these girls and that she would give them college funds and put money to the side for them and get them out. And we know some of the same people, and people say good things about her, and I befriended her.
Did you date her?
I dated her, yes.
Did Claudia find out about her?
Yes.
Was she jealous of that?
Yes.
But you think at one point Kristen Davis and Claudia were in cahoots?
Well, Kristen told me. She said, I'm going to put you on the front page of a newspaper as a Oh, I'm not allowed to say that word?
Well, it's a derogatory term, but if that's what was said to you,
right.
You're just repeating what was said.
Yes, sir. And 100% respect for all LGBTQ and trans, gays, 100% respect and support from my side.
Why would Kristen do that?
She was frustrated. She spent a lot of money on me in a short period of time. And
in what way?
Just going out, treating me nice, taking me out, buying clothes, wherever I wanted to go.
And what did she want in return?
Relationship. And I was uncomfortable with that.
Was she older than you?
Yes. Good 20 years, maybe?
Yeah. So was she like a sugar mama?
I guess I was taking advantage in a way of her niceness. Now that I look back at it, maybe I shouldn't have. But I mean, somebody wants to take you out, they'll take you anywhere, and they're posing as being nice, and you don't see what's behind what they're offering you in the beginning. It's not saying, well, this is coming with, I want a relationship, and I want this, and I want that.
You didn't think there were strings attached. You just thought this is just a very generous woman.
I should have thought about it more.
Did you expect the media to be all over your story? The trial, the allegations, all of this?
I mean, they treated me like a Justin Bieber. You know, I shot with the best with photography. I've been in a lot of magazines. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I've done well. I've had, you know, I've worked hard for it. It wasn't handed to me. I want to say that. But, yeah, I'm not Justin Bieber. And they treated me as if I was.
Were you outed so far as dating transgender women?
100%.
So this wasn't something that you discussed or wanted to share your personal, intimate life. You were outed.
100%.
And who did that?
Person that I don't say their name.
Okay, it was her.
Yeah.
Okay. So the media, the newspapers, they went wild with the headlines and the puns.
Yes, sir.
Was that a shock to you? Were you surprised that it went?
The fact is that the society doesn't really accept trans, and that's wrong. And all those puns and media and all that stuff, it's a disrespect to their community. It's a disrespect to me. There's people losing their lives for things like this.
And they were making jokes about it in the headlines, right? You'd
Right.
never handle a hose again and that sort of thing.
I wish somebody would say that to my face, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 6'6", 275. Never heard that to my face.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
When did you begin dating transgender women?
22. I was a virgin until 21. It was like the next year when I was 22. I dated a trans.
And have you dated any other person since then? Or has it always been transgender women since then?
No, I date plenty of women. It's like, I just see it like, instead of calling white girls white and black girls black, I just see trans as another color. They want to be treated as a woman. They feel like a woman. I respect them as a woman. You have to respect that. You have to respect people for how they feel. But the thing that bothered me was that I had a family member molest me as a child, and that's what contributed to my interest in dating trans. And I think that it's hurtful that the media made fun of that, not knowing what really happened to me. And I don't know how to say that well.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and you feel like there was a connection. That's not necessarily true for everyone, but in your case, you feel like there may have been a connection there.
Correct. So don't take me saying that as, oh, it's something wrong with it. That's just my experience. But I've been grateful to have some of the trans relationships that I have, and they should be treated as so.
Now, you say that you believe being molested at a young age may have spun you in this direction, and you understand that that's different for everyone, that being a transgender woman that's not necessarily the product of pathology. For you, it may have been a toxic relationship, something that was done to you early on.
Right.
That's not true of everyone.
No, definitely not. Just because I was molested and I had that situation doesn't say that, oh, it's taboo or it's wrong. Like I said, I've met plenty, and I have to be real to who I've met, and I have to be real, and I have to live my truth. And there's plenty of beautiful trans people, there's plenty of beautiful gay people, plenty of beautiful straight people. It's beautiful in everything.
Now, this person that victimized you in this way, do you still have a relationship with this person?
Oh, no.
You never outed them for what they did to you?
Right.
Do you have any intention of doing that?
I talked to a lawyer, but I didn't start remembering what happened to me until, like, my 20s.
This built up enough with you that at one point you attempted suicide?
Yes, sir.
How did you attempt?
Coming up.
In my culture in the fire department, I thought that if you had any gay association, you're fired.
Do you consider yourself to be gay?
With an ex-New York fireman accused.
This built up enough with you that at one point you attempted suicide?
Yes, sir.
How did you attempt?
I tried to hang myself, and I OD'd on pills.
How were you saved?
Fire department came.
Were you glad?
Not then. Now I am.
Why are you glad now?
Because it's just, life is what you make out of it. You got to be strong. And it all has to do with the taboo of the sexual preference of dating trans, and that, you know, I didn't know what to expect, but I definitely glad now. I wasn't as strong. I wasn't prepared. Life is wonderful.
Do you think you would ever consider that again?
I don't think so, sir.
When you look back at how dark things were at that point, can you imagine being that far down as you sit here today?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. The whole world turned their back on me, lost everything. It's tough.
What got to you the most? What made you think, I don't want to be here anymore?
It's just, in my culture in the fire department, people don't understand, we're run by the Marines. Our boot camp is run by the Marines. I finished top of my class. We're called a paramilitary organization. Not everybody realizes that we are a form of a military, firemen and police. And it wasn't accepted. I thought that if you had any gay association, you're fired. That's what I thought. And every door closed on my face. I want to say this humbly, but I could message a girl or something, and, you know, she would be just so surprised that I would even want to talk to her. Like, after this coming out, girls wouldn't even respond back to my message. Like, girls would see me on the street and be like, oh, that, you know, they wouldn't run up to me embracing love and screaming my name. It would just be a little different, like. And so it's just everything changed.
Do you consider yourself to be gay?
I call myself sexual, straight, with a SH. It has to do with the term that of anybody that dates transgender, they don't have a term for it. And it also goes for anybody like the college girl who has a boyfriend, but she sleeps with her best friend at the bar, and then she wakes up and she doesn't sleep with the girl again. It falls under that category. Not everything is defined in black and white. but that's how I categorize it.
Well, let's talk about this trial. You were charged with these misdeeds against this woman, Claudia, that you had assaulted her. How long was the jury out?
Oh, I think 7 hours.
She testified, right?
Yes.
And did she look at you from the stand?
Yeah. She supposedly is scared of me, and
right.
She made sure she screamed over that she loves me.
From the stand?
From the stand, when she was testifying about all these craziness. Yeah.
Why do you think the jury saw through her?
You're supposed to be scared. How are you screaming you love me? She got furious on the stand. And just the things that she said were just didn't make sense. It didn't.
Well, what lies did she get caught in?
The big thing was that the 4 blocks, then she said I dragged her 2 blocks. Then she said I threw her over my shoulder, and then it changed to she only got dragged half a block, but she didn't get thrown over the shoulder. And then she didn't have a mark on her. She didn't have a mark on her. It just didn't make sense.
The physical evidence didn't add up to what she was saying?
No. There wasn't a mark on her, and there was nothing.
If this had gone badly, how much time could you have done in prison?
Oh, it was 4 to 7 years.
Wow.
Oh.
So there was a lot on the line here.
Yes, sir.
You were found guilty of something. What was it?
Well, the main thing was phone calls.
Yeah, violating the restraining order by making 1,000 phone calls.
Yes, sir.
What was your sentence?
I'll give it probation.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how this came to hurt you in a number of ways. At what point were you fired from the fire department, and what did they say?
Coming up.
What happened with regard to your locker?
Guys put and like cut up my picture, like kind of like somebody beat me up. Nobody could tell me to my face these things, but you could do it behind my back. You want to go in a little corner, you want to point at me and call me the F word. I don't know who's the bigger man there.
Closed captioning provides.
We now return to Dr. Phil's interview with an ex-New York fireman accused.
Let's talk about how this came to hurt you in a number of ways. At what point were you fired from the fire department, and what did they say?
They were going to give me disability. They had no choice because of my actions was breaking the restraining order. It's not the fire department's fault, it's my fault.
Yeah. So you recognize that you did violate the law when you were in contempt of court because you didn't follow the restraining order.
Yep. Should never, whatever judge says you do, that's it. That was my mistake. Nobody else.
So at that point, whatever motives you think some of the people in the fire department may have had, you gave them the reason that if they had some other agenda, you gave them the reason to fire you.
Exactly.
Can you ever go back?
No, I do pretty well. I'm a bodyguard and I'm in a construction union. It's probably more pay than fire department.
Would you ever want to go back?
No, I want to see where this goes, and I just want to help people. This could be a bigger platform of helping people than I was as a firefighter, so wherever I could help people the most, if this turns into something else, that's where I would want to be, but...
There were people there that were judgmental of you, and there were people there that accepted you.
Yes, sir. True.
What happened with regard to your locker?
Oh, yeah, it was a discrimination. Guys put and like cut up my picture, like kind of like somebody beat me up, you know, but I just want to say, you put these things and nobody could tell me to my face these things, but you could do it behind my back. If you're not man enough to do something to tell somebody in their face and you want to go in a little corner and you want to point at me and call me the F word, and you can't do that to my face, I don't know who's the bigger man there.
Are you in touch with any of your fireman friends still?
Yes, sir.
So you still have a relationship with some of those guys?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this, and you and I both know that our society is not fully evolved. They're not fully actualized. They're not perhaps as enlightened as you might like for them to be.
Yes, sir.
But on the other hand, You know, if somebody was trapped in a burning building and you threw an axe through a wall, broke it down, and came in there to get them, the fact that you're 6'6", 275, and could pick up them and whoever else they knew and put them over your shoulder and carry them out of there, they wouldn't give a damn less who you slept with or didn't sleep with at night. So you know that at some level, that gives way to the reality of who you are and what you can do and what you're willing to do to put your life on the line to save somebody else.
Yes, sir.
And you were willing to do that. You proved that. You did that day after day after day.
Yes, sir.
Can you be proud of that?
I'm proud of it.
Do you let them take that away from you in any way because you were denied that?
No, I took a lady off a building, off the aerial ladder, lowered them from a rope into the bucket, and nobody could ever take that away from me. I potentially could have saved her life. So it's about the good things. It's not about the bad.
Taylor, what do you want people to understand about you?
Coming now, return to Dr. Phil's interview with an ex-New York fireman accused.
Taylor, what do you want people to understand about you?
If somebody wants to throw a rock at me, a stone at me, walking out here right now, from this, that doesn't even bother me. Because I'm me, I'm 100% real, and I'm honest. And I want everybody to live that way. I think it will be a better society.
You said that you experienced PTSD.
Yes, sir.
Describe that. What triggered it? What happened?
I'm a lot better now. I'm a lot healthier. I'm in pretty good state of mind. But coming outside, a big thing was going on dates with girls. If I was alone in a room with them, or she could say anything. Oh, this girl, she knows me from the story, or she doesn't. Or what if she thinks I'm this big famous person and she wants to get a headline? And oh man, it would be panicking. Going on job interviews, or okay, when are they gonna find out who I am and what are they gonna think? And oh man, it's tough, very tough.
So you're less sensitized to that now?
I'm a lot better now. I'm a lot better. I could work and stuff like that, but it was pretty harsh. It takes time to heal.
Everybody wanted to interview you. Why did you wait until now to talk?
I like the way you do things. You're pretty level, you're pretty fair. It's a high platform. I want to say my story and be able to reach out and help people, and I know that's a big thing that you mention from time to time. It's about saying my story, but it's also about helping people. It also has to be the right time. I'm at a time now where I'm not in my best shape, but I'm training, and I have about 4 or 5 contract offers for me when I'm ready. And moving back in a positive direction, I think that this is good timing, and also needed a lot of time to heal. And it has to be for the right reasons. It has to be some type of message that we're helping people.
I'm reading that part of the story here is that you want to make sure that the LGBTQ community is represented here in a way that is not disrespected.
Yes.
And that the treatment that you got is not something that goes unnoticed, that this was unfair, that the toll that it took on you is not the toll that should be allowed to be taken on other people's lives.
Right. It's pretty
and good. You're standing up and saying, look, this happened to me, but by God, I'm still here, and I want to speak out for this.
Yes, sir. Pretty good assessment. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Closed captioning provided.
When things happen to people and they've been molested, they've been violated, it can very definitely leave very deep wounds that folks just don't know how to deal with sometimes, because particularly when it happens at a young age, kids don't know how to wrap their head around that. They don't know how to deal with that. And it can leave some very serious wounds, and that can cause you to look at things in a slanted way throughout your life. And have you had specialized care and treatment to resolve your feelings about that?
I have had. I went through therapy and stuff like that. Yes, I have.
Do you feel like it was successful?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm for therapy. And
yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I just a note to you and everybody out there, that's not something that you just live with and hope it fades, because it'll seem to fade for a while and then it will come back up.
Exactly.
It's important to heal those wounds so they don't affect you in other relationships and self-worth, self-esteem, in other categories of your life. You seem to have the attitude that it's time to move on.
Yes, sir.
And own the rest of your life as well. And it seems to me that you have some great opportunities ahead of you. And look, haters are going to hate, lovers are going to love. You just got to take it with a grain of salt and move on. I learned that a long time ago.
Just reach one and save one. That's all we need.
That's right.
I just had something I wanted to read, the Galatians 3:28. It's about everybody's equality, basically.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free man. There is neither male or female. For you are all one in Christ Jesus.
I want to thank Taylor for sharing his story so openly and honestly. I hope that he can fulfill his goal of being a positive voice in the LGBTQ community. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
You know that I give you everything. Feel like we could take on anything. Blinded by what could have been. One step forward, two steps back. It was never nothing serious. Maybe I should take it serious. Now I'm coming to my senses. How about that? Did you know that I was broken down? Said you'd be there, but no, you weren't around. And everything has come to focus now. Said you'd be there, now that you're here. Don't say you want me when I never hear from you. Still you're coming to say you miss me, but it's always just for the night. No, not giving you any more of my time. Delete my number, still bringing my line. Don't say you want me when I never hear from you. Gave you many second chances. I was thinking that you had this. You were less than I imagined. How about that? How you feel about that? Show me all your hidden colors. To be honest, I seem better. So I'm gonna go and get it. One step forward, no steps. Did you know that I was broken down? Said you'd be there, but no, you weren't around. And everything has come to focus now. Said you'd be there, now that you're here. Don't say you want me when I never hear from you. Still you're coming to say you miss me, but it's always just for the night. No, not giving you any more of my time. Delete my number, still bringing my line. Don't say you want me when I never hear from you. Don't say you want me when I never hear from you. Still you're coming to say you miss me, but it's always just for the night. No, not giving you any more of my time. Delete my number, still bringing my line. Don't say you want me when I never hear from you.